This is Industria. It's kind of a maybe survival horror-y adventure game, like a first-person puzzle-solving adventure game. I've played a little bit of it, and I actually want to start over again from the beginning with you all, because I think there's a lot of really interesting things that they're doing here, and they're sort of taking on some of the inherent challenges of the adventure game genre that I think it does a really good job of sort of highlighting the problem that you're trying to solve when you're trying to create a puzzle in this kind of environment. So, yeah, so what am I gonna do? I can load a game. That's not what I want to do. Can I just, there we go, start a new game. Let's go normal because, you know. Don't want this to be hard. We're just here to talk about stuff. I do get the sense that English is the second language of the developers. Just interesting typos and turns of phrase here and there. And the game is set in Germany. It looks like, I didn't see the date, but is it like, I think it's like 80s or early 90s Germany.
Hello? Nora Sol, I'm here.
Nora, where have you been?
Walter?
Can you hear this?
Wait, I just came in from the office. I just fell asleep on the sofa. I was dreaming of really weird things. Are you still in the office working?
Oh, crap. I just skipped the dialogue. I was hitting escape hoping that I could pause the game and raise the volume a little bit so that you could hear the dialogue better. And I ended up skipping that conversation. So what happened is I've got a friend who works at some kind of sciencey place. And he just told me
I really
that,
need to look for
oh,
Walter.
hey, check
Just hope
that
I didn't
out.
do anything stupid.
Yeah, so apparently skipping that cutscene leaves the phone suspended in the air. This is the kind of thing you run into all the time when you're trying to, make a video game. It's like they just, didn't have an automatic way to sort of handle putting the phone away when you skip the cutscene. But anyway, the point is my friend Walter is working someplace, and something has gone wrong with something called Atlas. I believe that it's some kind of computer, and the computer it has gone crazy or something. And so he's like, gonna do something about it. And I'm like, oh no, Walter, I gotta come and help you. So I start out here in my apartment.
Stasi might have closed the facility down already.
Yeah, so Stasi might have closed the facility down, so you can tell that you're kind of in, yeah, old school Germany. So you can pick up anything. And so far, I'm actually not sure. There's a few places where there are puzzles that involve this, but mostly this is just a thing they let you do. And I'm not actually sure why I could pick up all of these things, but I sure can. And so that's the first thing I did the first time I played this was just mess around with all of this stuff. Yep, gonna comb my hair. You'll notice there's no mirror in this bathroom because it is really hard to make mirrors look convincing and cool in a video game, so you just don't do it most of the time. Because watching you get really used to what you can do in a mirror, and watching yourself in a mirror in a video game, it can be a really weird and uncanny experience. La Coalition suggests that maybe they wanted to do a VR version of this game at some point. Maybe that's why it's implemented exactly the way it is. I could not tell you one way or the other on that. So,
Stasi. Walter wasn't kidding.
So, have I overdone it with the volume? I genuinely can't hear the mix that you can hear, and so I'm nervous about either making the game too loud or too soft. So, one thing you'll notice, this world looks pretty big, right? Like, they got this gigantic monolithic building in the background, these pretty big apartment buildings and stuff, and it feels pretty big and open. But that's actually pretty deceptive. When I first came out here, I was like, oh man, this world's big, where am I going to go? And then I very quickly realized there's obviously only one direction I can go. Like, I can see that, I can't quite tell what's over here, but, oh yeah, there's a fence over there too. I actually am being funneled this direction, but in an environment that's sort of just wide enough that I don't feel like I'm in a tunnel. Well, until...
Change in resonance. It's not usually like that.
Until the darkness closes in, then it feels a little like I'm in a tunnel. But then it all comes back. And just like cars going by, just little touches of life outside of where I can see, sort of take this what is basically a tunnel, and makes it much more interesting to walk through. So okay, yeah. So most of the time the audio is pretty quiet, and so that's why I think I'm probably safe to have it turned up. So yeah, this building is obviously my destination. Interestingly, so you'll see how they lit these windows, not by coloring the windows yellow, but by making little rooms inside them and lighting the rooms. But the ceilings are black, and it's weird because in normal rooms, like in the actual real world, usually the ceiling is the brightest surface you have in the room because it's really good at sort of like reflecting light and making the room feel well lit. Having these black ceilings is actually kind of weird and disconcerting. Okay, looks like the cop showed up, came inside. So I can hit E to interact with stuff.
Where is everyone?
Whew. Okay, a brilliant machine. So a couple weeks later, we wanted to try something of notable scale and complexity, such as a rat. With the living rat inside, we started the procedure, and as the machine rumbled to life, there was this, like, a heavy rhythmic shockwave emanating from the shaft. It was shaking the entire room around us. Okay, so they're doing some kind of questionably ethical experiments with animals and things in here. I do appreciate, by the way, that these doors, are locked. They let you interact with them just a little bit, so it doesn't feel like they're just painted on. It's a nice little touch. So push the button. Elevator opens. You'll notice, by the way, this will be worth referencing later. This entire panel is a single interactable. I don't push individual buttons. So I push E on that to use it, and that's going to take me somewhere. La Coalition asks if I'm in East Germany.
Am I still dreaming?
I don't remember what I saw
Focus, Nora.
in the game so
Focus.
far. I do think that this might... Yeah, I think the Berlin Wall might still be up during this game, though. I feel like I saw something on the TV in the version of this where I didn't skip the
Walter?
opening cutscene.
You here?
So yeah, I think the Berlin Wall is still up. All right, I'm gonna look around in here. This looks like it's Walter. Here's Walter's key card.
He left his key card? Oh, could be useful.
And then we've got here consequences. I want to inform you that Comrade Schabowski publicly said in a press conference 45 minutes ago that GDR citizens are free to cross the borders. I would suggest collecting all documents you can, as there will be consequences to your program. We sincerely wish you all the best. Okay, yeah, so I think that actually the Berlin Wall is in the process of falling right now. And so these folks are worried that when everything is opened up, they might get in trouble. So that, is worrying. All right, so I've got this. All right, so I've got this little direction that says tab to use object. This is an interesting thing because when I'm not next to this machine and I hit tab, I get my inventory, right? It's got Walter's keycard in it. That's all that I've got in it right now. When I approach it and I hit tab, same thing, same view. And so it's like, okay, that's interesting. And I select it, E to use it.
Come on.
Drop it in there.
Perfect.
The thing that I didn't realize the first time I did this was that is actually the last time that I'm going to be prompted to hit tab next to an object I want to use an inventory item on. You actually have to approach an object that does not tell you that it's an interactable object. And you have to decide to use your inventory next to it. Like that's how this game actually works. And I'll show you what that looks like later on. Okay, code list. So here's a list of passcodes. The most recent one is 2309. So let's remember that, 2309. Let's definitely throw them out. And keep going. Game saved. It's gonna keep poking around in these places, see what we can find. Candelabra. All right. Bottle of something. I don't think I can interact with these. There's a lot of stuff that's here just for atmosphere. And just to, like, you know, like I was talking about, you know, when you're going down a tunnel, having a little bit of breadth to the tunnel makes it feel more natural, makes it feel less like you're just being rammed down a tunnel. And I think that's what a lot of these rooms are for. One of them had the key code in it, but the rest of them were just there to make it feel like a more natural space, which is good. So remember that that elevator keypad. When I approached it, I just had to interact with it one time, and so I was like, doop. Oh no, this one actually has me pushing individual buttons, so that's the wrong code. Let's try again. And that actually works really nicely, but the elevator, the previous elevator that I went through gave me the wrong impression about how buttons work in this game. So it taught me one thing, and then I had to do another in a later, you know, in basically all later puzzles. And that that tutorial where it was telling me, ooh, yikes.
This doesn't look good at all.
Maybe I should bring down the volume just a little bit. All right. Anyway, that area with the key card where it was telling me, you know, press tab to open your inventory, I thought that I was going to be prompted that way at every location where I was going to have to use an inventory item, and that also turned out not to be true. So it's tough when you're doing a tutorial. Like, you need to add extra helps to teach the player how things work, but it needs to be clear that those are extra helps, and that actually the real game works differently, or people are going to get confused. All right, so I'm going to come over here.
Oh my god, what is happening? Why is it shaking that bad? Walter! Are you here? What is happening here? Why is it going that wrong?
I like the suggestion in the dialogue, by the way.
No!
That she expects bad things to happen here all the time, just not this bad. So after you're done watching the spectacle, this door mysteriously opens. So I'm gonna run down here. And I'm sure this is an excellent idea. Go up this way. Climb a ladder. So I do like that my tutorial for ladders and navigation and stuff like that is in this big shaking collapsing building. I'm perfectly safe. There aren't actually bad things that can happen to me here, but it feels like bad things could happen to me. And so I'm willing to sort of take the time to learn how to, navigate complicated spaces, climb ladders, that sort of thing. I'm not getting bored by it because it's giving me the impression my life is in nature, even though it is not.
Brilliant idiot.
Oh. Call me a brilliant idiot. Okay, let's see.
I'm coming for you, Walter. You can't leave me here.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Okay.
Here we go.
Manually set the security protocols.
5A. That's B. 5A. All right. What's next? 3A. I don't know what this is for. 6B. 6B. Oh my gosh. 4A. Okay, we did it. Seems like a weird security setup, but it's a video game. We're cool. Hello to On My. And the Dark Smoky, and Gordo. There's a bunch of people. Cooper Fox, you all showed up while I was not paying attention to the chat. Do I have to... Okay, so here's an issue that we run into with this game, which is that Sometimes you just don't know what you're supposed to do next. Like, nothing on here is prompting me that I need to interact with this keyboard, but I think that's actually what I have to do
Finally. Now get me the hell out of here.
to move on to the next step.
Okay. Alright. This feels weird now.
Yeah, so...
Oh shit. Oh my god, is this right?
Oh no! It's fizzy lifting drinks!
Is this supposed to happen? Is this supposed to happen? Oh my god.
I have to burp.
Oh my god. What the hell? Oh my god. Okay. Holy shit.
So yeah, Carnage03 wants to know when I play State of Decay 2 on my channel, and that's usually Thursday afternoons. Usually after 4, I think, in the afternoon, Pacific time. Okay, so now I'm here. Where's here? I don't know. I'm working on some kind of gibberish. So this, like, this sort of gobbledygook text feels like the kind of thing that, like, an AI, like if an AI was creating a space for somebody to be in, and it didn't really know what the significance of papers was supposed to be, it would just fill it with something. You can see that with AI artists. It's like they'll come up with, you know, that something has to go here, so I'll just put some stuff, and it won't have anything to do with what a human would put there. But it's like, I don't know, this is good enough. So this makes me feel like I'm probably in a world that was created by a computer. That's my guess. I really don't know what's going on here, though. It's black and white. It's got these hallways with the sloping walls are just an interesting look. Oh, hello. Hello, sir. Are you going to put on a show? Oh, what? Where are you going? What's up there? How odd. Now it's this person's turn. Yay. Oh, Malator points out that Raft had a big update today. I'm sure Calliope's going to want to check that out a little bit later. And wait, what? You know what? The first time I played this, I didn't actually watch. I didn't keep watching her. I didn't realize she goes up reclining on her back. I don't know what meaning that has, if any. Oh, hey, there's a door over here. I should just go through this. Well, I'm curious now. Wait, she stopped? Okay, I'm sure each of these things had some kind of meaning. I don't know what it was, though. Would you be weirded out working in a place like this? Like, that had these sloping walls? It's so disconcerting and unfamiliar. Huh, I think somebody's reading the meter outside my house. Okay, so I go through that door, and I start opening my eyes. So, was I in some kind of dreamland? And where am I now?
Where am I? What is this place? Walter?
Alright, so I'm here. Gonna start poking around. Is there anything back here? Nope. I've kind of forgotten the layout of this place, so I will be feeling my way around a little bit. Okay, here's a test. The test results: the machine powered up and was stable for 12 minutes before an unexpected shutdown. There seems to be no clear operational purpose. Okay, so this is somebody testing the machine who did not build the machine. So maybe that's Is it Walter? Is it somebody else? Like, maybe there's somebody who's kind of surprisingly transported here like me, who's trying to figure out what's going on. So I hold E to open this sucker.
Walter?
And then... Oh, hey. I've got a flashlight. And you'll notice I made it so that I can't approach this door without running across the flashlight. So I kind of... And I automatically pick it up when I grab it. So it's like the flashlight is actually going to be really intrinsic to what's going on here. And you'll see I've got this sort of recognizable thing. Like, I know what I'm looking for right now, right? They did a really good job of sort of establishing what the machines in this world look like. So I know I'm looking for a blue wheel. So there it is over there. Let's have a look at what this is first. They do little tiny lighting tricks to make the things you need to pick up glow slightly, which is kind of nice. So Pavel from the communications room delivered a telegraph to me this morning. The boy was anxious to say the least, and in his hand the message in question. As I drew my attention to the paper he had given, I tried to make out what I was looking at. Where is this from, I asked, but the boy didn't know. The telegraph spat it out that morning. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't give me any information that I understand, but we'll take this. So it's telling me that tab is where my inventory is, so I can see, yep, there's my inventory. And here's the point where I noticed something surprising, which is I came over here and, from our past experience with the tutorial, it's going to prompt me to hit the tab button. But it doesn't. In fact, there's nothing about this object that tells me it's special, except my experience with another similar looking object. If I hadn't seen one of these before, I would have no idea that a blue wheel belonged here. Now, that's fine. They did establish it to me. Like, I do know, and they've given me the information. But it really surprised me that I wasn't prompted to interact with it, because that's what I got used to in other games. But no, I have to come up to the thing and then manually open my inventory, which looks no different than it does if I had opened it anywhere else. I hit E, and then it works. And I can open it just like the other one. And so they gave me enough information, enough stuff to sort of figure out what I was supposed to do here. And I didn't feel like I had trouble figuring it out, but it was surprising that that's how it worked, because I got so used to being prompted for stuff like that in other games. But actually, I think that the problem that they're solving here... Oh, by the way, I should mention, there seem to be some like engine glitches in the game that are causing... once you get into this space, there are some bright flashes occasionally. So if you're like epileptic or anything like that, there's going to be some bright flashes that I can't control coming up. So just be careful. Anyway, what they're addressing is a problem that you always have in like an adventure. In an adventure game. Oh, there's a battery. This is a typewriter. This is where I'm allowed to save my game. Normally, yeah. So right now I'm playing a version that has autosaves in it, but you can switch it up to play a version of the game where you have to use typewriters to save the game. It's like Resident Evil, which is kind of neat. I'm not playing that version, but you can still save there if you want to. Anyway, anytime you're making an inventory-based adventure game, I think, whoa, there goes an evil robot. I think we've all played adventure games where it feels like it's just trial and error, right? Where basically there's a bunch of places that you can go, and there's things you can interact with. Hello. Whatever. There's things you can interact with, and there are things you can put in your inventory. And all the puzzles are about have thing in inventory, use thing in inventory in the right place in the world. And it feels sometimes like you just can trial and error your way through that, where you're like, okay, well, I've got 5 things in my inventory and 3 places to stick stuff. I'll start with the most reasonable things, but I can just keep trying until I find something that matches and something that works. And it starts to feel like it's by rote. Like when you solve a puzzle, you don't feel that great about it because you could have just trial and errored your way through it. And so it doesn't feel great to succeed. And you kind of feel like you're just sort of like going through the motions. And so what I think they're trying to do with this game is basically say, okay, yeah, you can pick things up. We'll try to make things a little bit shiny that you can pick up in the world. And when you get close to them, we'll prompt you to pick them up, and they'll get in your inventory. But where to use them, we're not going to tell you. Like, you need to figure out where these things belong. You need to learn how to recognize things in the world. You need to, think it through and make a plan. Like, that has to be up to you, which means it's no longer by rote. It means that when you solve a puzzle, you actually feel like, I'm clever, I figured this out. Which is a better feeling, and it's a way to,
Maybe that's a way out of this terrible place.
to get players actually creatively invested in solving your puzzles. So let's, hello, robots. Oh.
What?
Oh, good.
I don't know who you are, but if you want to live longer than 5 minutes, you should probably get the hell out of there.
Then tell me how.
The elevator needs power. The steam machines through the door underneath me are your only hope.
Who are you? Hey, wait, come back. It's rusted over. Maybe I can find something to remove the rust.
So this is an example, by the way, of another item. It's kind of like the locked doors in the beginning of the game where, I can interact with this and it can budge. So it tells me that there's something
It's
real
rusted
here.
over. Maybe I
But
can find something to remove the rust.
But yeah, so notice that she's prompting me what I need to do. So it's covered in rust. I need to find something to remove the rust. So here, moving these obstacles is the main thing I do with this sort of arbitrary object grabbing tool. So I'm kind of surprised that I can arbitrarily grab so many things. So far, it's only been used for obstacles in the puzzles that I've seen. And so it's an interesting, very versatile power to give the player in a situation where they're not really likely to need it that much. Okay, so phosphoric acid, good for treating rust. It's made with apatite and sulfuric acid in this machine. So I'm looking for apatite and sulfuric acid. So let's go over here. We've got a bunch of, I love this, dispensers for stuff. So we got, this is heavy water. This is boric acid. Is heavy water radioactive? Anyway, I'm just going to grab a little bit of everything. This is apatite. But I do like the translations here, that they put you in a place. It's like, yeah, this is a German space. But when you mouse over something, it gives you in your own language what the thing is. So you can still, be in this place that feels really authentic, but still be able to understand it. So I've got apatite. What I do not have is the acid. I think it was sulfuric acid that I needed. Yep. So I happen to know where the acid is, so let's just go do it. It's in the other room across the way here. So this room has it's got a Victrola in it. And so this is a case where I'm tapping E to use this thing and nothing happens. And so this is how happy I was when my character tried to move that sort of rusty wheel, and it would budge a little bit but not all the way, and she'd comment on it. And similarly, those doors that I couldn't open, I could interact with them and it would show me that they're locked. It would give me feedback. This is giving me no feedback, and so this is a less good example of the same basic idea. I'm also gonna take this pistol ammo. I don't have a pistol, but there's pistol ammo everywhere. I assume at some point I'm going to have one, and it's going to be great. So that's nitric acid. That's sulfuric acid. So I'm going to grab one of each of these things just because I like having just a bunch of chemicals in my inventory. But I think we've actually got what we need now. You can see, by the way, if I turn off my light, I've got these little glows around interactive objects. In the place with the books where green and white meet. Place with the books where green and white meet. Okay. So, yeah, that's a battery for my flashlight. By the way, somebody in one of my State of Decay 2 videos, somebody was complaining about the fact that cars run out of gas so fast, and they were saying, that that's unrealistic. You'll notice that flashlight batteries do the same thing in survival horror type games where you need a flashlight and it's got a limited battery life. The batteries run down really, really fast, kind of to an absurd degree. And the reason that I'm okay with that, partly is just because, usually it's a video game, and that's why. By the way, I have to hit, it says place ingredient, but I have to hit tab to open it up. And I'm going to put the apatite in here. And then I'm going to put the sulfuric acid in here. And then and only then does this give me a prompt to use it. Like, normally this is just inert. But I use it. It burns these two, or whatever. Boils them. And then they turn into phosphoric acid, which is what I need. So I'm going to take that phosphoric acid. And, yeah, so I've got rust. It's called rust remover. It's phosphoric acid, but it's labeled as rust remover. In case I didn't read everything on that blackboard, and I didn't understand that that's what the phosphoric acid was for. So again, it's not the E button.
Maybe I can find something to
It's tab
remove the
use rust remover that opens it. But anyway, things like that where something in a video game goes much faster or is expended much faster than it is in real life. The way that I think about it is that in a video game, even though you're actually usually having a continuous experience where you're actually like watching the character, there's no cuts, there's no fade down, fade up, time passes. You're having a continuous experience in here, but I think that we're still like simulating a larger passage of time. Like, for instance, you never see, in a lot of video games, like in State of Decay, you never see your characters eat, and you never see them go to the bathroom. Even if you play the same character for multiple solid days, you never see any of that stuff. And we're not saying that you live in a world where characters do not eat and do not go to the bathroom. What we're saying is you're seeing kind of a cleverly edited version of their life where there's a lot of time passing and a lot of things happening that you wouldn't normally see. Like, a day in State of Decay 2 only lasts 90 minutes. And so there's a lot of time in a day that you were just not seeing in the game. So for instance, if you drive, for half the day in State of Decay 2, you're going to run out of gas. Similarly, in real life, if you drove half an actual day, you would run out of gas. And so running out of gas in State of Decay 2, even though it happens more slowly in real time, more quickly in real time than you would expect it to. There's my Victrola record. It's actually, I think, pretty fair. And similarly here, you're imagining that. And also, it's not just time that's compressed, it's distances. The towns in State of Decay 2 are much smaller than real towns. The distances on the highway are much tighter than other distances. So if you actually were to drive to the next town over, it would cost you about as much gas as it does in State of Decay 2 to drive to the next town over. By the way, notice what I just picked up. Tinder sticks. Unfortunately, Tinder sticks look like they come in the same kind of box that ammunition does. When I picked this up the first time, I thought I had picked up more pistol ammo, because I've been just walking over pistol ammo like crazy. I didn't realize I had picked up a special item. I thought I had just picked up more pistol ammo. So I didn't know I had something special in my inventory, which is important, because I came over here. Okay, so let's just look and see what this is. You can sort of see everything that's going on here. So this was a puzzle that I really kind of wanted to come in and talk about. So right here, this is empty. However, I didn't check that out before. In fact, something being empty is not noticeable. That thing is empty, and I pull this. It says coal. I pull this lever, and so what I thought was happening was this is an engine starting up, right? Smoke is coming out the exhaust. I hear a bunch of mechanical clanking, and I'm like, okay, I've started the engine. That's great. And so, and then I was like, oh, wait, nothing happened. Nothing's moving. What's wrong? And so then I came up here and I looked in and it's like, there's a bunch of coal in there. I didn't know that was different. I didn't know that this was actually newly filled with coal. I thought this was just like, oh, it was like this before. I pulled the lever and it made a bunch of smoke, but nothing worked. Okay, I'm missing something. What am I missing? So I come over here. Oh, by the way, one thing I should point out while I'm over here. Remember those Tinder sticks that I have? So if I open my inventory right now and I try to use the Tinder sticks, nothing happens. So this is not the place to use the Tinder sticks. Even though I'm sitting here with a bunch of coal, I can't use the Tinder sticks here. Okay, that's fine. Well, let me look around and see, did I miss something? Is there something I was supposed to do? What's wrong? Oh, hey, there's a wheel over here. Let me try pulling the wheel. So I hold the wheel. Okay, I've turned the wheel. I hear there's a subtle difference. Okay, I've turned on the water, apparently. There's a subtle difference in the audio. But it looks like, actually, that I failed. Like, I did something here, but it had no effect. I can't interact with this anymore, so clearly I've accomplished something, but I don't know what. So I come back over here. So originally what I did was I just started exploring the rest of the building. Like I thought that, okay, I just can't do something here yet, and I gave up for a while. I ended up having to look this up on the internet because now that I've turned that water crank, I can use the tinder sticks here. And it lights. But so you remember that spot where I was like saying, you know, oh, I'm moving that rusty wheel. And the rusty wheel responds, shows me it's supposed to move, but it's stuck. And then my character comments on it. And that gives me enough information to know what I'm looking for and what I need to do next. This puzzle did not have that advantage. So this one, like, when I was, you know, trying to place a tinder sticks, my character didn't say, I can't, you know, I shouldn't light this until the water is ready. Or, like, my character should have said something about why lighting the tinder sticks here is bad. Or they should have lit the tinder sticks and had this happen, but just say, oh, yeah, there's no water in the pipes until you turn the dial. Let the dial happen first. Sorry, let the dial happen second. Like let you do these two things in any order. Like, load and light the coal is one step, is one qualification. Turn the water crank is another qualification. But let me do it in any order and just have there be a stronger, outcome when both are done. So you can tell, whichever order you did it in, that something happened. Really, the thing that changes because of the water is you got this steam vent going on right here, leading up to this other wheel. And I'm not actually sure if this wheel is interactive before you get here. And so, yeah, so what I would probably do to improve this is, number one, let the once there is coal in here, let the player use the tinder sticks here and set this fire. And just have the fire not cause the steam to flow yet until you've turned the water crank. So either you turn the water crank first and nothing happens until this, or you turn the water crank second, and as soon as you turn it, something happens with the pipes. And I would say put a steam vent somewhere in a pipe that's in this room, so that once I turn this crank, I can see immediately in my immediate vicinity something has changed. I have definitely, done something that matters. And like, okay, I've turned the water I've turned the water and I've set the fire in whatever order. Now I know something's happened, and now I need to go and see what else to do with the steam. And so now I come over here and I turn this wheel, and that lets the steam through to actually, push these pistons and turn these wheels. They've got these sort of belts on them, and that's all wonderful. And these are just things I can grab and throw, and they don't matter. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting something around here. I'm pretty sure this is just an open environment, just to let it be open. Let us I can just walk around and admire the machines. I don't think there's actually anything I can get in this area, except falling off a cliff. So, okay, so now this thing is running, but I'm stuck down here. So I need to find another way out, which is fine. There is another way out. And the other way out is actually what I did, like, after I got stymied by this machine. What I did was I found this way out, and then I started just exploring the rest of the building. And it took me a while to realize I needed to come back here. There's some more pistol rounds. You'll notice I pick up the pistol rounds automatically, whereas, like, puzzle pieces I pick up intentionally. I think that basically what they're communicating to me with that is that pistol rounds, like, I can take them manually, but I can also just approach them. There's never a reason not to pick up pistol rounds. There might be a reason to leave, an inventory item on the ground or something. I don't know. But, ow! Steam. But there's not ever a reason why I shouldn't pick up some ammunition. Okay, so I think I'm done with this room. So I've grabbed everything out of this room. But yeah, so it's interesting how they... Oh, wait a minute. Robots. Are they going to see me? Should be prepared. Okay, that guy sees me. So I don't know if there's a way to defend myself. What I've been doing is just circle strafing these guys, and I think some of their attacks will miss me as long as I'm moving laterally relative to them. I did take some health damage. You can kind of see in the lower left corner that my health bar is a little down, but not an insurmountable amount. Okay, so we got that thing running. So I think that the next thing I need to do is go up this elevator. But yeah, so you can, like, the thing that I just wanted to kind of examine was inventory puzzles and sort of the challenges of making these things, because, you know, they did, I think, a clever thing in setting it up so that you needed to figure out where to use your inventory items. You know, that they didn't just prompt you with every single interactive thing is a thing that just calls out to your name, and you end up just going through the whole thing with trial and error. But because they had that much sort of openness to the puzzle, I think they also took on a responsibility to communicate in the places where the player could get stuck. And so that area with the coal puzzle, I felt like it kind of falls down a little bit because they left it so wide open with so little communication that I couldn't figure out what I was missing and what I was supposed to be doing. So yeah, so this thing, see, they lit this thing up, so I know it's there. I appreciate that. And now I'm up here. And I think this is actually as far as I got before. So I'm now in uncharted territory. So we have seen the main thing I wanted to show. So I think I'll go a little bit further, but then, you know, we're going to come up on an hour of streaming, and maybe we'll want to call it quits. Let you discover this game on your own. Oh, gosh. I don't have as much room to maneuver in here. Okay, my health is, like, super low now. Q to heal. Thank you. Okay, so I had that little health potion that I picked up downstairs. Oh, what's this? Oh. Oh, crap. I don't know if I can survive 2 of these. Wait, what? Where did I get a pistol? Was it just on the ground? Did this thing have it? Where did the pistol come from? Okay, so I don't have any health files left, so I'm in trouble now. I wish I could have grabbed the pistol earlier. That probably would have made that fight better. Okay, can I... How do I not have the pistol? Okay. I'm holding the pistol up like this. I can't interact with the door. Mouse wheel isn't doing anything. Number keys aren't doing anything. Do I need to do something to get the pistol out of my hand so I can do normal interactions? How odd. Also, like, my character holding the pistol up like this seems to be kind of unstable. Like, if I hold down the left trigger, the right mouse button. Okay, I'm holding it down. I'm gonna start holding it down right now. It snaps back into that position. I'm worried that I might have encountered a bug of some kind here. Because I can't interact normally. Can't climb this unless... Yeah, I can't interact with anything. I think I'm kind of stuck. Unless... Let me see. Oh, the escape key also doesn't work. Yeah, okay, we've encountered a bug. Well, you know what? We were going to end this episode soon anyway, so I'm betting if I restart, I'll come back, everything will reset, and things will be fine, and I'll be able to continue on. But this just feels like a very convenient stopping place anyway, so let's wrap this up with a subscribe button, some links to other videos, stuff like that.